Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to we've done kind of extra shows before, but this is the first what we'll officially call On the Time Lash Extra.
Yeah.
So this isn't part of our normal remit. This is a review going out minutes after it's been broadcast.
Probably the only time that will happen, because we're not quite as privy to the sort of the episodes before they're airing as we were for this one, and as we were lucky to be.
Yes, we're talking about The Magician's Apprentice, the first episode of the new series 9. And the reason that we can do this is because we very much enjoyed it on broadcast.
Yep.
But we saw The Magician's Apprentice originally a month ago as part of a special event at the Edinburgh Television Festival.
Get us.
Yeah. This is the second time this has happened, as we saw Deep Breath the same time last year, but added special element to The Magician's Apprentice showing is there was a live Q&A afterwards with Stephen Moffat and Brian Minchin, which was excellent.
Stephen Moffat.
Well, Stephen Moffat, yes. It was very...
I mean, God love Brian Minchin, but Moffat was just on form. Just back just a steamroller through the whole Q&A.
But then that's the thing of the which is Russell T Davies had it as well, which is the showrunner is as much a star of the production as the lead actor or the companion actress or actor. But yeah, okay, what did we think? A Magician's Apprentice. Now we should say it was only The Magician's Apprentice that we saw.
Yes.
So we had a cliffhanger along with people who watched it on broadcast.
So we also haven't a fucking clue what's going to happen next.
In fact, I was, you think you've got it bad. You've got a week to wait until the conclusion. We've had, a month?
Yeah, about 3 weeks, I think. 3 weeks. 3 and a bit weeks.
I mean, so also what that means is that there's a slight difficulty in judging it as a story, because we haven't seen the second half of it.
Of course.
It might be shit. We don't think that's going to be the case. So just The Magician's Apprentice, not The Witch's Familiar, just The Magician's Apprentice. I thought it was fucking exceptional. I think you were probably of the same opinion.
I was, yes. So join us next week for The Witch's it was stunning. I mean, it's... Every time Doctor Who comes back...
I'll stop you we probably should have said this right at the beginning, but we will talk about spoilers. We will talk freely about the spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, don't listen to this. Listen to it when you've seen it.
Yes, we should definitely say that.
Yeah, because we got into that, because we're recording it obviously before it's actually been broadcast.
Yeah, we have to actually... Through a thing we signed at the screening, we have to actually record this inside a hermetically sealed bunker where nobody else can even possibly hear what we're talking about.
They did ask for secrecy, and I have been very wary about even secretly thinking about it. Because I don't
like Soviet Russia.
Because the thing is, the stuff that happens in it is so surprising that I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
No, neither do I. And I actually, watching this episode, only really knowing that Michelle Gomez was in it, and that the Daleks might be in it, I was like, I went in and watched it and was just completely blown away by all the surprises, all the twists and turns, and I want that to continue for the rest of the series. So that's it. I'm cutting myself off now. When the magazine comes out, I will do as our friend Derek does every month. We'll just turn all those pages over, and then just go into Gallifrey Guardian.
Yeah, because those things, I mean, they don't give away any spoilers, but they do give you enough information. You get what the tone is, you get what the setting is, you get who's in it.
And I think
which are kind of spoilers.
It kind of. I mean, it's not really, I suppose, but the journey is the journey. But I actually really enjoyed, the fact that this starts. Well, it starts in a minefield with a child called down. I can say this.
You can say this. It's like the trepidation.
There was just like a weight lifting when I can say this.
It's like finally admitting you're an alcoholic, isn't it? It's
like a last I can talk about this.
Saying Davros is like going, I'm an alcoholic. That's the first step is to admit it was Davros.
It's funny because a guy I work with was also at the screening, and we were talking about it, but in very kind of roundabout sort of a way. Even though nobody in the office would really probably care if you were like, Davros comes back, right? The Doctor has to. nobody would have cared, but it was still just like, no, just in case.
Yeah, just in case a bit. Because
just in case Stephen Moffat kind of comes round.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you talking about? Nothing.
Yeah. But I mean, we are living in an age where we're very much fans of it, but there are other people who do watch it, and often, who are not necessarily fans, but people who would be annoyed if they had it spoiled for them.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, watching it, starting with that, and watching that, I'm so glad we watched it at the TV festival, because watching that bit where the kid says Davros in a room full of Doctor Who fans was amazing.
My memory of that is that first there was a gasp, then there was a pause, then there was a laugh, and then
I was definitely
there was some applause. And there was applause when Peter Capaldi, they just hold on Capaldi's face as he looks utterly bemused and horrified. It was great, but so the first thing, going through the episode fairly chronologically, first thing is that we encountered Davros
as a small child.
There had been obviously a rumour about this beforehand. Of course rumours are going to come out. It just shows you the amount of security that's obviously around Doctor Who, that the very first scene for the new series is the kind of the big rumour that everyone thought, oh, that'll be like episode 8, episode 9, maybe that's going to be the finale, but that was the very first scene of the new series. And the fact that nobody knew about, I mean, okay, the rumours, but the fact that was, people just thought, oh, maybe, probably, that sounds like a lot of internet bullshit, to be honest.
Well, that's what I thought, because I remember saying to you as we were coming out the screening, I remember hearing that rumour and going, well, why would you try and remake or remodel Genesis of the Daleks? That'd be pointless. That'd be like what they did to Star Trek by sort of remaking The Wrath of Khan without any of the kind of charm or excitement, or, because Wrath of Khan is a film about old men, so why the hell would you do it with a cast of young people? That doesn't make any sense. But actually, when you have this presented...
my problems with that film are
about a 2-hour-long podcast at least. But then when you're actually given this child as Davros, you go, I'm sold. Let's see where we go with this. And it's amazing. It's because it's not a remake. It's not a remodelling. It's a kind of, you take an aspect of that story and go, that is an interesting point. What would the Doctor do? If he was, if he did see that child that was to grow up as the most terrible thing in the universe.
Well, I mean, Russell T Davies has said that the start of the Time War for him and in his kind of comprehension of the mythology was Genesis of the Daleks. So after we've had essentially the resolution of the Time War, the Daleks are back, and he hasn't killed the Time Lords. They're lost, but they're still somewhere to be found. He's still, even after the seeming resolution of Day of the Doctor, he is still the Doctor trying to come to terms with that whole incident, his involvement in it. And it does boil down to the fact that he's now, if he'd just done what he was supposed to do in Genesis of the Daleks, there would have been no Time War. And now he's finally gone back to that point where he could rectify everything, but at the cost of not millions and billions of people dying, but at the cost of one child's life. That is, I mean, and again, really, that's the cliffhanger. We don't know what happens yet, but that's an exciting thought.
But that's really grown up.
Sorry, I said exciting thought there. I didn't mean killing a child is an exciting thought. I mean, it's an exciting idea that the production has undertaken.
This will be the episode they play back at your trial.
No, I don't mean it's an exciting thought, butchering a child, right? I don't do that.
What we're saying is nobody wants to shoot a child in the face. That is what we're saying.
Well, unless you've been on certain Edinburgh buses, that's. Sorry. What were you saying?
But that is really grown up, ballsy storytelling to open a series. Because watching Partners in Crime recently for an episode you'll have already listened to, it's that kind of light, frothy, very funny, very enjoyable Doctor Who story to kind of just like to just ease you back into how Doctor Who works. But this is like, we're not pulling our punches. This is boom, like,
particularly how Last Christmas was pretty light and fluffy, but
and its resolution.
But I mean, when we did and when we will talk about Partners in Crime, it's a counterpoint to the fairly the fairly heavy material that was in Sound of Drums Last of the Time Lords, and to be honest, the kind of the emotionally fraught Voyage of the Damned. Whereas we have Dark Water and Death in Heaven, which are grim as fuck. I mean, like they're good, right? But there's no getting away around it. They are grim.
Yeah.
And then we start again with an exceedingly grim. Some great funny moments in it.
Oh yes,
but really exceedingly grim first episode of series 9.
Yeah.
And okay, so we talked about Davros, but it's not just the idea of the character of Davros. Again, under secrecy, we have Julian Bleach back. It's not recast; it's actually Julian Bleach.
That was a real surprise.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even if that room, if I in my head had thought that room was going to come true, one idiot I was thinking it wasn't. Yeah. You know, you kind of expected they would cast like a young actor to play the child, maybe like a slightly older version of Davros as well. I never in my head pictured that story having a place for the Davros that we know and love.
The actual Davros, you know, seemingly at the end of his life for
the 20th time.
He's had more possible deaths than the Master.
And the same body.
Yeah.
So I think he's the. Well, we'll get to the Master in a minute. But amazing. It's so good that they got him back.
He's got that particular type of voice, like like the actor Joss Ackland. He's got that voice where everything just sounds brilliant. Like anything coming out of Julian Bleach's. Okay, no, again, not everything coming out of any words that it just gives it like a gravitas and an importance. And it's just so that was great.
I mean, and you know, like Stephen Moffat said in the Q&A, every scene with the Doctor and Davros, regardless of the story, is great. And here's another one. Here's another great scene. And what really surprised me about it was just how confident they are to just throw in, and not just like a little montage like in something like The Next Doctor. Proper huge chunks of Doctor Who dialogue from the past. And just go, that's fine.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's the stage we're at now. We can just do that.
It was nice that Unlimited Rice Pudding was heard on prime time BBC One Saturday night television. That was
where it belongs.
Let me just go back to that point for listeners. So apparently the question was asked of Stephen Moffat, where did he kind of get the idea for
where did you get your crazy idea from?
And what he said is that the genesis of The Magician's Apprentice was in the fact that going back, he kind of wanted to have Davros back in some capacity, and going back and looking at the Davros stories, his favourite, depending on whether you like them or not, how good they were in terms of merit, every time the Doctor and Davros met and had a tete-a-tete, that was excellent for him. And he's right, he's perfectly right.
Absolutely.
And it's from the fact that he just wants Capaldi and Davros to meet. How do you then build a story around that?
I was slightly disappointed, because I'm thinking that that's all very well, that's a very good explanation for why you brought Davros back. But I just love the idea of Peter Capaldi just constantly being on the phone going, Stephen, I've got a great idea. I want to meet Davros. Alright, Peter, I'll see what I can do.
There was probably something in that. I mean, what seems to be clear is that Capaldi is obviously very forthcoming with his ideas and his wants.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, you know, like he always mentions Mondasian Cybermen. But then what was it Moffat said at the Q&A? All the Cybermen are Mondasian Cybermen. Apart from the kind of brief Russell T Davies era ones, you know.
They've all come from London.
So Davros was the big reveal, and the Daleks. Now you said that you thought the Daleks might be in it.
Only because there was a trailer that had Missy and a Dalek, and I was only aware she was in the first two parts. So I kind of sort of put two and two together and was like, okay, maybe, unless there's something else we haven't been told.
But the Daleks, they don't feature very prominently.
No.
They're kind of background artists for the last bit, but they're probably in that last 20 minutes the most effective the Daleks have ever been for quite a considerable period, I think. Because, you know,
because they kill everybody and destroy the Daleks?
Yeah, but just...
Or do they?
Well, we will find out, But the brutality that they seem to exude, just, you know, in that small amount of time. It's also helped along by the fact that Davros is given a kind of psychological commentary on what's going on. I mean, that helps in no end. But they seem very, very effective. It's nice to see loads of different types of Daleks, and it's nice to see them just being as brutal as we know that the Daleks are.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a nice thrill to see all the different Daleks on screen.
Yeah,
it's good.
Not the big colourful paradigm Daleks. I noticed they're gone. They're scrapped.
Yeah, that's true. There's not a single one there, was there? No, it wasn't like Asylum of the Daleks where they are there.
Yeah, like they're the lead.
But there's also the gold ones as well.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, you're
they
right.
Weren't there. No, they weren't there. But okay,
so the Supreme Daleks back.
Supreme Daleks, I like. I don't know. That's don't know.
Good.
The Master though is back. That we knew. That we
did know. And it was really funny. Just I like the whole thing that there's all the planes just stopped.
Yeah.
And the Master just does that to just get somebody's attention.
Yeah.
And they just go, Of course I'm still alive, for fuck's sake. Like, can we just get on with the story? There's a nice kind of it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, wink to camera kind of thing.
Sure, but they get away with that joke twice.
Yes.
Like the Master just goes, I'm back. And then when we see, like the last time we saw Davros was burning in the Dalek crucible. Yeah. And the Doctor just comes in and goes, oh, so this is where you ended up. Like he knew. So this is where you ended up. But yeah, so the Master is back. Brilliant. Loved it. I hope there's a justification for the Master being there. Because there was a point where she slightly seemed like she was just a way of getting Clara to find the Doctor.
Yeah.
I don't want to say gratuitous, but I hope there's a real justification in part two.
The way the story's kind of heading, to me suggests there is a clear reason, because the whole idea, because the Master would kill that kid without a single second thought.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's what it's going to kind of boil down to in the second part, is that once again it's kind of like you have to realise that we're not really that much different.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not happy to see Michelle Gomez back, but I do not want a return to the way that the Master was kind of in the 80s, where he's like every third story, and he's very easily defeated, or she's very easily defeated, and it's just a bit gratuitous. It could be any original new baddie as it is. It's just the Master who, through defeat, becomes even less of a threat for the next time around. But again, which is familiar, we'll pick this up again. What I loved about the Master is how utterly how Michelle Gomez's performances, and to be honest, in the writing as well, is how much that you're with the Master, and to a degree you feel safe and root for the Master, even though she's at the most brutal the Master's ever been, by just gunning down, what was it, 3 security personnel just to prove a point to Clara. That I loved. I loved that. But then again, this is what I argued. I don't know how coherently when we recorded last the Time Lords. But again, that's what I argued, that the Master is all performance. The Master is just about entertaining himself, herself, at the expense of the Doctor. And so.
Which is why there's a little thing in my head that I'm just like, has the Master just set all this up?
Possibly.
I don't know.
Very possibly.
But we'll find out.
Yeah, we will.
We'll find out in a week's time.
Yeah.
Certainly not 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks' time.
I mean, Doctor Who's one of these things that we could sit here and we could try and extrapolate and come up with what would happen in the next episode. But I think Doctor Who has taught us don't bother. It's not what you think it's ever.
If only the internet would learn that. What else did this guy? Capaldi. The Doctor.
Capaldi's excellent, and the massive the crowd punching the crowd punching the air moment was obviously
crowd pleasing. I think is the word you were looking for.
Yeah.
The crowd pleasingly punching the air moment.
Yes. Well done, you.
That'll do.
Was the Doctor playing electric guitar with wearing shades. On a tank
in ancient medieval Britain,
with a smoke show going on for the tank to emerge from.
It's just one of those really silly showboating moments that just you're like, this makes no sense, but my God, I am having a good time watching it.
The thing is, I don't know if it's worth going so deep just now about that. Is that I loved it, but it kind of seemed a bit out of character for that Doctor. That seemed more like an 11th Doctor.
A little bit, but then I think
rather than a 12th.
I think what we kind of had at the end of Death in Heaven, well, not the very end, but the bit where he has that whole speech about how he's just an idiot, and he's just passing through and just whatever. I think he's kind of more prone to just being a bit more fun again.
Right.
He's like, oh, why do I have to be so grumpy all the time? And that bit, like, I think the key bit of that is actually when he's riding the sleigh at the end of Last Christmas.
Yeah.
You feel that actually he is lightening up.
Yeah.
And he's
learned to be a showman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what it is. I mean, I don't think we're going to have that every week. Like, he's just riding, playing the guitar on a different vehicle.
Well, it is. I mean, it is the first exposure we have of the Doctor in the new series. And again, Stephen Moffat said that the importance of having the Doctor off screen and what his entrance is like.
He does that really well twice in the same episode.
Yeah.
Like the whole opening scene with Davros, just call him Davros. I was about to call him a little kid again, but the whole opening scene with Davros,
Baby Davros,
running across the minefield, getting trapped. Then the sonic screwdriver comes out. It's the Doctor. You're like, he's here to save this kid. Yeah. Oh wait, no, he's not. Then you go another sort of 10 minutes without seeing him again, and then you've got like another it's the Doctor.
Yeah.
It's amazing just how well put together it is as an episode for these kind of big moments of introduction. Yeah,
I mean, it's very successful as a first episode. Do you want to do kind of what was your favourite scene?
Ooh, okay. I think the Doctor and Davros has got to be because it's something that I don't think we really had enough of in Journey's End.
Yes.
So
Journey's End was very messy. It was a bit too much of a.
Whereas this is it's just two men.
Yeah.
Talking about morality and science and great.
Well, it's getting back to the genesis of the story, pardon the wordplay, the pun, because it's a mirror of the genesis of the Daleks. I think. I don't know. My favourite scene, I have to say, is the Master and Clara sitting in sitting in the little kind of bistro courtyard.
Yeah.
Which where was it?
Tenerife. I think.
Tenerife. Yeah. I was going. Well, that's not London. That's
yes.
That isn't London. Just because I love the Master handing over the last will and testament of the Doctor. And then Clara going to reach it, get an electric shock, and then the Master goes, "What are you doing?" He left it for me. So that's the best friend. It's the Master. It's not Clara. I thought that was a really funny scene. But then again, also then it leads on to like the Master gunning down people, just going, "This is a threat."
Yeah.
This is a threat. The Master is established very effectively.
Yeah.
It's a very very evil, very very powerful, not to be mucked around with villain. Which ups the stakes for Clara as a character, because essentially Clara becomes the Master's companion.
Yes.
For the episode.
Or the Witch's familiar.
Maybe. See, I had a theory that because we haven't got that yet, but I had a theory that they were going to bring Osgood back as the Master's companion.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. That because Ingrid Oliver will be back in the series.
Yes.
I think it's going to be later on. I don't think.
Yes, the Zygon.
But I thought that after that little flirting that went on essentially between the Doctor and Osgood in Dark Water, I thought that was maybe. Oh, sorry, Death in Heaven.
Yeah.
I thought the Master saw that and went, okay, well, you want her as a companion, I'm going to take her as some kind of companion, and she's resurrected by the Master, but. So anyway, but again, there's no point in trying to extrapolate. So, I don't know, favourite performance? Jesus, there's all of them, isn't it?
All of them? Yeah. Capaldi, Gomez, Coleman.
I mean, Clara is she has a bit to do.
Yeah.
She's not the focus of the episode.
No.
But what she does in the kind of the shadows of the other big landmark performances and occurrences is pretty good,
It's really good to see her share scenes with Michelle Gomez, actually. I think the two of them are really good together.
Yeah.
This is good. Julian Bleach is obviously a great as Davros. It's just really good. But even Gemma Redgrave, who gets barely anything to do, it's like nice to see her back. She's in control. And her new scientific advisor was all right.
Yeah. Who is it? Somebody Griffin?
Yes.
Angela Griffin, is that?
No. It's I've forgotten her name.
She was on the bill.
But she was in the bill, and she was in Bugs.
Yes, Bugs, that's
Bugs. Remember Bugs?
Yeah, I unfortunately do. Yes. Jesus. Remember that period where they just wouldn't fucking make Doctor Who? They made Bugs and they made Crime Traveller. Do you mind that?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
I love that. Do you mind that period where they just wouldn't make Doctor Who? They kept trying new things, and they were just
like, it was all substandard shit.
It's not working. There's just something not right.
Yeah. I think we've covered it. I mean, we will speak more in depth as we finally get to the Magician's Apprentice on our normal.
Or we may do a little summary episode again at the end of the series.
Yeah, but this is just for you to be. This is going out after it's been broadcast on BBC One. This is something for you to be going on with.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for our first episode of On the Time Lash Extra. We will do more of these as.
We'll see you next week for. Probably not straight after the episode, because we'll actually have to talk about it because we haven't seen it.
Talk about it and then edit it.
Yes.
This takes literally ages to do.
So we will see you for The Witch is Familiar.